So my Timo package arrived finally after 2 weeks. So yeah, let's open it up. Here is some guide to the dummy 13. I got myself a stand and some pliers. You need pliers to cut these components up into pieces. I'm scared to do that. And here's a closer look of the instruction sheet, which is pointless because the instructions are really bad. Okay, here I'm cutting up the components, but let's speed up the process because it took way longer than expected, because these pliers are really bad, and get yourself a really good pair of pliers if you want to do things like this. Here's the head, and let's start with the midsection, the pelvis and the hips. So we're going to connect these two black joints together. So it looks like a T-shaped joint. We're going to then slide the C-shaped component that looks like the crotch section of the figure across the joint onto the flat surface of the top of the black joint that we just placed in to the socket of the other black joint. There you have it. The crotch section is done. Now we will start with the hips. Make sure the mid joint is facing up and click it through the middle of the hip section. There you have it. The hips and the crotch is connected together. We're going to continue our way up the body. So we're going to start with the abdominals next. Remember to use the longest hook joint in the abdomen and the shorter one in the crotch section, because the abdomen will need a higher mobility to move back and forth. Remember to push in tightly, because I got this cheap version. You gotta use force, and the components don't clip in well. I'm gonna connect the abdomen with the hips now. Next we're going to start with the chest plate. Joints that's within the chest plate we call the ribs, or whatever you want to call it, and the lower rib cage. Try connecting them very tightly together so the holes at the back line up with each other. Some of them need to use a lot of force, like mine. I had to use a lot of force. Some don't, because they were probably much better quality. After many minutes trying to put the chest and the midsection together, I finally done it, and here we have the body completed. Now we're going to make our way up from the chest, shoulders to the neck and the head joints. The two short hook board joints are the shoulders, and we can attach them together to make the shoulders, of course. Next we're going to start with the neck joint. It's a double bolt joint, and the small piece that connects behind the neck is an opening, and there's a rigid shape behind the neck piece that connects together. As you can see, there's an opening on the component, and a rigid shape behind the neck that fits into the opening. We can connect both the pieces together, and there we have it. The neck piece is complete. Now we're going to connect the neck piece with the chest. Now we're going to move on to the head. We're going to take the small hook joint that looks like Lego main hands, and we're going to connect it inside the head. Now we have a body with a head. Presto. It's looking good so far. Head is moving. Oh crap. Oops. Yeah, pop off. Just be careful with these fragile things. I'm just testing the mobility of the neck and the head, how it turns and that. It's not too bad, not too bad. We're going to move on to the lower body, the legs. Here are the caps for the top upper leg, and these are the foot joints, the foot components that we're going to connect together. So the small part is the toe and the larger part is the heel and foot, yeah, obviously. So we're going to connect them together. It is a bit tedious and hard to connect together, so good luck with that. It took me a while to connect these pieces together and very frustrating. Next we're going to look for the joints that looks like a potato grater, peeler, and a small hook joint with a ball that's going to connect a half a ball. That's more like a rectangular ball, but connect those pieces together in the opening. You apply some pressure so it can connect into the opening. These joints are going to be used for the upper leg, which is the thigh part. Once these are connected, try giving it a little swirl so you can just see how it's moving nicely and not too stiff. Now we're going to get the covering for the thigh, the covering component that's going to cover the bones of the joints. Remember to place it in correctly with the long piece in through to the other side. This part is a bit tricky as it does ridge against the covering of the thigh piece. I myself struggled to connect these pieces together as it didn't flow nicely when connecting together. Later on you'll see me using more force and pushing it down to the table to properly secure the joints and the covering together nicely. But for now I'm just showing you all the pieces that go together. Next we're going to move to the lower leg, the calf and the joint for the calves. Make sure it's placed correctly with the section of the hole facing forward through to the top piece of the calf covering. This will be used for the half a 8 joint that looks like a 3 or a butterfly, however you want to describe it. Either side of the holes will connect into the hooks of the 3-shaped joint from the top of the calf muscle and the bottom of the thigh piece, so make the knee joint when connected together. Here I'm just thinning down the pieces with the pliers. It's not ideal, but I'm just doing it because the pieces don't fit in nicely together. As you can see, I'm struggling very much to connect these pieces together.
Do both of those. And this is like a little cover. Do that on both of those pieces. And use your other number 3 piece that you have. These pieces should slide right in. Pay attention to the direction.
Here is the three-shaped piece I was talking about to connect the limbs together of the upper and lower leg to make the knee joint. There's a hole facing forward on the 3 that connects the knee covering cap to the knee joint. And there we have one leg down, and till the next one do the same process and you'll have the other leg done too. So both legs are finally completed. We're going to move on to the arms, but before we move on to the arms, we got to add the feet. So we're going to add the feet socket to the ball joint of the lower leg, and then the upper leg to the pelvis joint, and then we'll have a complete body from the chest down to the toes.
Here you have the lower body.
We must add the covering for the ball point of the upper leg to make it look nice. Yeah.
Now we are attaching these two like we did previous with the legs. This is for the arms. Slide those pieces till they click and kind of turn them to wear them in a little bit. Do both of those. Just showing you that's one of the hands there.
So now we move on to the arms. As you can see, it's similar to the leg, just a smaller piece. We start off with the shoulders and the upper arm.
All the way down and it clicks. Do that for the other side. And this is like a little cover for where that's going to connect to the shoulder. Do that on both of those. her ball.
Once all that is connected, there's another 3-shaped joint that was used before for the leg. We use it for the arm, and this joint will act as the elbow joint, so connecting the forearm and the upper arm together to make that bend, so you can use that to punch and lift up things. No more arm movement.
Attach these two, you kind of flip it up.
Once the forearm is completed, connect them together with the elbow joint, and there you have it, a working arm.
There you have your figure. You can set them up however you like. Thanks for watching. Hope this video is helpful.
Once the arm is fully completed, you connect it to the shoulder, and there, presto, whole figure completed. Dummy 13, 100% completed and working. Enjoy and do whatever you want with the dummy. Make him action poses or throw him against the wall, whatever you want to do. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.